Maybe I should ask you to say something, some last words, all of you, before we get to conclusions or a roundup or something, what we could call at the end of this workshop. So who would like to start with final words?
I can start. I think that what I take from this discussion, and maybe all discussion that I come across in tourism, and when sustainability is discussed, or the future plans, or how we want to be, it is the importance of involving the people in decision making and in the actions. And I think we can spend a lot of time on creating policy and creating goals, but if we don't involve the people, we will not succeed. So I think the most important part for Iceland now, post-COVID, to reach the goals that we set just before COVID around sustainability, that is to make sure that we have the staff still available in the tourism companies, and that we have the space for them. We can give them time to work on the project that they see most important in their neighborhood, and that's how we create the sustainability. And we also have to remember that sustainability is not just what we present or promote or market, it's what we are doing. And in Iceland, we are often asked in the tourism by travel agencies that if we can point to a labeled company that has been awarded some sustainability label. And often we cannot, because the companies haven't been through that process yet, but they're doing a lot in the sustainable way. And I can take as an example here the local food that we have, where companies are often using the ingredients that are produced in the neighborhood. They're selling them in the restaurants, but they're not talking about it. But it's a really sustainable use of raw material. And so we have, I think Iceland is really strong in sustainable tourism. We just haven't labeled it yet and promoted it yet. So that's part of our job ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll be next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of talk about sustainability for many years. For 25 years ago, I was working for the Icelandic government on a policy framework, and there we decided to be sustainable. Since then, there are 25 years, and there has a lot has been going on, and we have moved towards a more sustainable way. But I think now we have really come to the point where we are ready to take the step fully, and we have to, because it's also demand of the market, of our customers. And what's important now, including the people, as Arnheiður said, absolutely, and we have to make it possible for everyone to do something sustainable. We have to take it out of the theory and take it into the practical field. We have to do it with some rules that are possible to follow, and the government has to provide the means for the companies to be sustainable, as in the power change, the green energy and such. So I'm optimistic for the future and just looking forward to welcome visitors to the sustainable Iceland, and maybe I'll see some of you this year or next.
We actually got one question on the chat from Sintis. Maybe we should have that, because we have a few minutes before Elias and Ole say their last words. What about remote working? Could Iceland become a place where one goes to work temporarily but enjoying the natural and cultural heritage at the same time?
Er þetta ekki þú, Elias?
We have actually the government, if I am correct, I think the government, there were quite a big number of Icelanders living abroad that moved back to Iceland but continued to do their work from Iceland, due to the how fairly easy we went or are still going about in the COVID terms compared to many other countries. And you are absolutely right. I think this is an opportunity for us. There is no question about it. And then there again, it's the infrastructure. How can the infrastructure handle it? And I think in a lot of places, the infrastructure is already up and running. But the government is, if I am correct, government is putting quite a bit of money in build up of infrastructure, meaning connections and things like good connection, computer connections. So yes, this is definitely an opportunity.
Okay, but then we have last words from Ole and then last word from Elias.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say very much. I'm just going to say that we did not wish for COVID. Nobody did, with all its damage and troubles to business and businesses that have been described very well here. But it is ours to learn and to make the best of it. It's just the same in every circumstances in life. This is what we get, and that's what we have to make to do with. We need to do things that need to be improved in a different way. We need to invest where investment is needed, and we need to manage where management is needed. And we have heard quite a lot of both ideas and policies that are going on and have been going on for the last year since COVID started from the tourist specialists here. So I'm quite optimistic at the moment to hear what you had to say. I've learned a lot myself, but I'm not going to say more today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I couldn't agree more to what Arnheiður said about including the locals, and that is actually one of the key points that I was emphasizing in my presentation. That it's so important that tourism will be decided on by the locals, not by the tourism industry itself, but by the locals. It's very important. It's a key thing. But I think the prospect of tourism in Iceland and sustainable tourism is very bright. There is no question about that. And I think we can be a great example of a great buildup and of renewable energy and things like that. I think we have all the opportunity is ours. There is no question about that. So I think the future, even though it's very gloomy at the moment for the tourism in Iceland, I think it is bright. There's no question about that, in my mind at least.
Okay, then I would like to thank you for your contributions to this second part of this peer learning workshop, and for interesting discussions and others at the meeting who have contributed as well. But now I give the floor and the charts to Tom to say the final words and end up the workshop. Tom.
Yes, thank you, Greta. Thank you to all the speakers. It was very interesting. I never knew anything about tourism in Iceland. Now I do. What I will remember from this whole discussion in very short, that tourism was a couple of 10 years ago or even 20 years ago, fairly new sector in Iceland. And now with the COVID coming, Iceland was not too prepared for it, for this boom in tourism. And that now that the COVID has been a hard hit, it's actually an opportunity eventually to rethink and make up an action plan for the future years to come. And there are perhaps 3 points that I will remind that were pointed out as most important for the future is that there is a need to avoid densification of tourists and to diversify the tourist activities. And for this is to look at the potential of cultural heritage sites, which is an opportunity. But then it would be then very important to, and I've heard that many times, is to include local participation of the communities so that tourism can be beneficial both for the local environment but also for the local communities. In order to be able to do that, there is also, for the moment, some lack of connectivity, transport connectivity for dispatching the tourist at the right place. So this is also something in the future that has to be to get better. And a last point that wasn't very much discussed today but was mentioned once or twice is actually the potential of domestic tourism. At during the COVID summer, apparently many domestic tourists have started visiting their own country. It's the same in my country, in Belgium. And perhaps this could be enhanced, but as you said, the main reason for this domestic tourism was that the prices were very low. So perhaps there could be a way to enhance domestic tourism, not only with having low prices as a motivational factor for it. Thank you very much. And yes, thank you to all of you. Thank you to LGI for managing the logistics of the event. And thank you to the speakers again. And now we will wish you a very nice evening.